Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really plunge into the heart of information, pulling out those vital insights from the sources you share with us.
That's the goal.
And today we're looking at something truly intimate, profound even. We're journeying into the very, very early stages of pregnancy. It's like this secret world, unfolding incredibly fast, often before many people even know about it, full of biological wonders and, well, pretty significant shifts for the person experiencing it.
Absolutely. A transformative time.
So our specific focus for this deep dive, what's really going on at 7 weeks pregnant? This isn't just, another mark on the calendar.
No, far from it.
It's pivotal. It's like a canvas where these astonishing biological developments are happening for the tiny life inside. But it's also coupled with really significant and sometimes, quite surprising changes for the expectant parent.
A time of immense growth, adaptation.
Exactly. And it's often still very private at this stage, but packed with these incredible life-shaping details.
And our main source for exploring all this today comes from BabyCenter. Specifically, excerpts from 7 weeks pregnant. Symptoms, belly and baby size.
Right, BabyCenter.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a very well-regarded online resource. Lots of pregnancy and parenting info. And importantly, their content is generally medically reviewed, comprehensive.
So a solid foundation for us.
Definitely. A trustworthy base to understand this really dynamic, crucial period.
Okay. So our mission today is to really pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from this source. We want to go beyond just a quick summary.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, give you, our listener, a genuine shortcut to being well-informed about week 7. We're looking for those surprising facts, the practical insights that can offer some clarity, because let's face it, there's a lot of information out there. It can feel overwhelming.
Information overload is real.
So, okay, let's unpack this. Let's really see what defines week 7 from that microscopic blueprint of life right through to the very real day-to-day experiences.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
All right, let's kick things off by diving straight into what I find, well, truly one of the most compelling bits of week 7. The baby's development, just the sheer speed and complexity.
It is remarkable.
It really is. I mean, how much unfolds in such a short time? At just 7 weeks, we're talking about an embryo that's still incredibly tiny, right?
Oh, absolutely minuscule.
Yet its little features, the beginnings of eyes, nose, mouth, ears, they're actually starting to look more defined already.
That's right. You start seeing the precursors to recognizable features.
And those little arm and leg buds, they're apparently growing longer quite rapidly, moving beyond just being nubs.
Yes, elongating, starting to resemble tiny limbs.
The speed of this growth, the precision of it, it's just astounding when you stop and think about it.
It truly is. And what's genuinely fascinating here is how quickly these, well, previously sort of generic cell masses.
Right, that undifferentiated stage.
Exactly. How quickly that transforms into recognizable, specialized human structures. When we talk about these buds and defined features, we are literally watching the laying down of the foundational blueprint.
The blueprint for a whole person.
Precisely. Imagine just a few weeks back, this was basically a collection of cells without specific roles. And now, it's actively sculpting structures. Structures that will become eyes that see, a nose that smells.
A mouth
that eats and talks.
Ears that hear. It's like a masterclass in biological engineering happening right there on a microscopic scale.
Wow.
It's this incredibly precise, orchestrated sequence, setting the stage for all the more complex development to come later. The programming within those cells, driving this rapid, precise construction. It's just incredible.
And the source points out something that really makes this tangible, almost hits you between the eyes.
Yeah.
The baby has doubled in size in just 1 week.
It doubled.
Yeah. That's not just growing, that's exponential. How do you even wrap your head around that kind of rapid expansion when it's something so tiny? It's hard to visualize in our everyday terms, isn't it?
Completely.
And this doubling, it's not just about, piling on more cells randomly. To double in size in just 1 week means every single cellular division, every organ starting to form, every structural shift is happening with breathtaking efficiency.
And organization.
An incredible organization, yes. It's not just adding more material. It's orchestrating an increase in specialized cells that are forming these interconnected systems.
Like building a house, maybe?
That's a good analogy. It's not just doubling the number of bricks. It's like doubling the bricks while simultaneously putting in the plumbing, the wiring, the framing, all perfectly timed.
All at once.
Exactly. The raw materials are being rapidly converted into increasingly complex tissues and organs. This huge growth rate really speaks to that incredibly robust, pre-programmed blueprint within those initial cells,
Driving everything.
driving this rapid, precise construction. It's just a period of intense activity, proliferation, and differentiation, making sure all the critical components get established early on.
Okay, so speaking of size, the source gives us that classic, wonderfully relatable comparison. At 7 weeks, your baby is about the size of a blueberry.
The blueberry analogy, yes, it's
Yeah.
very effective.
It really is. I mean, just take a second, picture a blueberry. We see them all the time. Pick them up, eat them. They seem so small, almost insignificant sometimes.
Hmm.
But inside that tiny, tiny space, all this incredible complexity is unfolding. It really puts the doubling in size into perspective, doesn't it? That doubling is still happening within something you could hold between your fingers.
It's an analogy that perfectly captures the paradox of this stage, I think.
How so?
Well, on one hand, the physical size is almost imperceptible, right? Especially from the outside looking in. But within that blueberry-sized space, you have the beginnings of a complete human being.
It's mind-boggling.
It really is. I mean, I encourage you, the listener, maybe next time you see one, pick up a blueberry, hold it, and then try to imagine the tiny circulatory system already starting up, the developing brain with its different areas, the early digestive tract, the sensory organs forming,
All inside that little sphere.
all fitting inside that.
Oh,
It just underscores that what seems tiny in scale is actually a universe of biological activity, a miniature masterpiece of engineering, getting ready for life outside the womb. It helps grasp the marvel of it all.
and leading right from that, let's talk about the eyes. Because the source says the main parts, cornea, iris, pupil, lens, retina, they actually start developing this week.
Right now, yes.
And incredibly, they're almost fully formed just a few weeks later. These aren't just vague cells. These are the fundamental parts of the eye.
It's astonishingly early, isn't it? What's truly fascinating here is how early and with what precision these foundational elements for sight get established.
Vision is so complex.
Incredibly complex. It needs not just the eye structures to capture light, but also those sophisticated neural pathways to the brain to interpret it all.
Right.
So the fact that the cornea, which focuses light, the iris controlling the pupil itself letting light in, the lens fine-tuning focus, and the retina converting light to signals.
All of them.
All of them are starting to differentiate and form at this stage. It just highlights how critical sight is for future interaction with the world.
The body knows.
It seems to. It shows that sequential nature of development. First the basic structures, then refinement, then function. And the precision is absolutely key this early. Any disruption now could have really significant long-term effects on vision. It's like the body has foresight.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Something the size of a blueberry already laying down the intricate groundwork for seeing the world. It's amazing foresight. And it's not just the eyes. The baby's digestive system is also budding, starting up. You can really sense the future practicality here.
Yes, the building blocks for nutrition.
We learn the baby's stomach and esophagus start to form this week. The esophagus, that crucial tube moving food down. Plus, the liver and pancreas are also beginning their development. These sound like really fundamental, practical systems being built, even now.
They absolutely are. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, these are the very systems that will eventually let the baby nourish itself outside the womb, digest food, absorb nutrients, grow.
The whole metabolic machinery.
Exactly. The stomach, esophagus, liver, pancreas, the initial setup. The esophagus is the pathway. Stomach starts the digestion, and the liver and pancreas, absolutely critical. Metabolism, detoxification, enzyme production.
Huge jobs.
Huge jobs. The liver handles nutrients and toxins. The pancreas makes digestive enzymes and hormones like insulin. Going back to the house analogy, you start with the foundation, the main structural bit, the kitchen, the plumbing, the wiring, before you worry about paint colors.
Right, the essentials first.
These organs are those essential structural components for future function, making sure the baby can eventually eat, digest, and use nutrients to keep growing after birth. It's just testament to the body's intelligent design, building the necessary infrastructure way in advance.
Okay, so the digestive system is impressive, but the brain development.
Yeah.
At 7 weeks, this is truly awe-inspiring.
The neurological development is phenomenal at this stage.
The source says the neural tube, which becomes the spinal column and brain, has formed and closed on both ends. Brain at the top.
Crucial step, the closure.
And it's already made up of 3 distinct areas: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Foundational parts.
The early differentiation, yes.
But here's the part that just, wow. Amazingly, your baby's brain gains 250,000 cells per minute on average, throughout the course of pregnancy.
Quarter of a million.
Per minute.
Per minute. That's not just growth. That's like a cellular explosion, a frantic but highly organized construction project happening inside.
It absolutely is. And it just underscores the immense importance of this foundational period for neurological development, that neural tube closure. It's a critical, non-negotiable milestone.
Why is it so critical?
It's the very first step in forming the entire central nervous system. Its proper closure dictates the blueprint for the brain and spinal cord. If it doesn't close completely, well, that can lead to serious conditions like spina bifida or anencephaly.
Ah, okay. Hence the focus on folic acid. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why folic acid before and during early pregnancy is so vital. And the early differentiation into forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, equally significant.
What did those parts become?
Well, the forebrain is destined to become the cerebrum responsible for higher level stuff like conscious thought, memory, language, voluntary actions. Basically, what makes us human.
Okay.
The midbrain acts like a relay station, connecting the forebrain and hindbrain, and it plays a role in vision, hearing, motor control.
Got it.
And the hindbrain forms the brain stem and cerebellum. It controls essential involuntary survival functions, breathing, heart rate, coordination.
The basics of staying alive.
Precisely. So this raises an important question. What does that incredible rate of cell growth, 250,000 cells a minute, really tell us about this foundational period?
Yeah, what does it tell us?
It tells us this isn't just about adding cells. It's about rapidly building the most complex organ in the human body, laying the intricate groundwork for all future learning, behavior, emotion, consciousness. It's a biological marvel and fast forward.
I'm still kind of stuck on 250,000 cells per minute. To try and make that concrete, imagine counting grains of sand. If you somehow counted 1 grain every second, nonstop,
Yeah.
it'd still take you over 4 minutes just to count 250,000. But the baby's brain is creating that many every single minute for months.
It's an almost unfathomable rate.
It really is. It just highlights how absolutely central brain development is from the get-go. Life's most sophisticated supercomputer being built from scratch at the staggering pace. It makes you realize how utterly foundational these first few weeks really are.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, so we've spent some time really marveling at that incredible, almost microscopic blueprint of life unfolding inside. But as you can imagine, all this rapid internal development, this whirlwind of activity, it triggers quite a few profound and often challenging external experiences for the expectant parent.
Yes, the focus shifts outward now.
Let's move from the unseen wonders inside to the more noticeable and often quite taxing reality of pregnancy symptoms at 7 weeks.
This is really where the personal, day-to-day reality of pregnancy starts to hit home for many. And often, yeah, with a good deal of uncertainty.
How so?
Well, the source rightly points out that your body's changing so fast, it's often hard to know if a new ache or sudden nausea or some weird sensation is normal, or if it's something you should call your doctor about.
That constant checking in with your body.
Exactly. That constant vigilance, that heightened awareness of every little shift is really characteristic of early pregnancy. But it's also crucial to remember that many of these rapid changes are perfectly normal physiological adaptations.
Yeah.
The body is just adjusting to support this growing life.
So the key is...
The key takeaway from the source here is trust your instincts. If you're genuinely worried, if something feels really off, always seek professional medical help. That reassurance is vital for navigating what can be a pretty anxious time.
Okay. And one of the most common symptoms, sometimes really disruptive ones at this stage, that heightened sense of smell and the food aversions that often come with it.
Ah, yes, the super smeller phenomenon.
The source mentions women being suddenly overwhelmed by smells that make them gag things like perfumes, the smell of their own home, even their partner or pet.
It can be intense.
And apparently, it's a direct side effect of rapidly increasing estrogen levels. And that same estrogen roller coaster makes foods they used to love completely repulsive.
Right, often starting quite dramatically in the first trimester.
And sometimes lasting until birth, it says. That sounds like a profound sensory assault, really changing daily life.
It truly can be, and I think its impact is often underestimated. What's absolutely fascinating here is how closely these sensory experiences are tied to those fundamental hormonal shifts.
Estrogen again.
Estrogen, in its rapid rise, doesn't just affect reproductive functions. It can profoundly alter sensory perception, especially smell and taste. That heightened sense of smell, some theories suggest it might be an evolutionary adaptation.
Really? How?
Like maybe subconsciously steering pregnant individuals away from potentially harmful substances or spoiled food, a sort of primal protective mechanism for the fetus.
Huh, never thought of it that way.
It's just a theory, but it makes sense, even if it's incredibly inconvenient in modern life. Similarly, food aversions are the body's powerful way of saying no to certain foods, even favorites. It's not just preference. It's a strong physiological reaction.
Making life difficult.
It can make daily life, from cooking dinner to walking past a restaurant, surprisingly challenging. Imagine trying to make a meal when the smell of onions, which you used to love, now makes you feel instantly sick. These are real, tangible impacts.
Okay, then there's the bladder's new schedule, very demanding schedule, the frequent urge to pee.
Ah, yes, a classic early sign.
The source calls it one of the most common early signs. For many, it's one of the first things they really notice. And importantly, at this stage, it's not yet because the baby is physically pressing on the bladder, right?
Correct, that comes later. Right now, it's those hormones again.
How do hormones affect urination?
Well, the hormonal changes cause blood to flow to the kidneys more quickly, and there's generally more blood volume overall. This increased flow means the kidneys filter more blood, producing urine faster, which fills the bladder more often.
Okay, so it's a processing thing.
Exactly. If you look at the bigger picture, it's the body working harder, more efficiently, to process waste for both the parent and the rapidly developing baby. More blood volume, hormonal signals lead to faster kidney filtration.
So it's actually a good sign.
In a way, yes. While it's definitely disruptive, more trips to the bathroom day and night, it's a reassuring sign that the body's systems are adapting. They're working hard to support the pregnancy and manage the waste products from that rapid development. It's essential, even if it means you're always scouting for the nearest restroom.
Right. Okay, so alongside all these physical things, there are the emotional swings, which can be just as tough, maybe even tougher for some.
Definitely, the emotional aspect is huge.
Moodiness often flares up around weeks 6 to 10, the source says. These ricocheting emotions, happy one minute, irritated or tearful the next, are likely caused by a mix of things. Stress, fatigue, those hormones again.
A potent combination.
Plus, yeah, just the huge range of feelings about becoming a parent. Excitement, anxiety, the identity shift.
It really raises a profound question. How do we properly acknowledge and support the huge psychological and emotional shifts happening right alongside the physical
Well,
ones?
it's easy to just blame hormones.
It is, and often too simplistic. Hormones definitely play a big role, no doubt. But the emotional landscape of early pregnancy is way more complex than that. It includes massive anticipation, excitement, hopes, dreams,
But also worries.
but also potential anxiety about the unknown, fears about health, about parenthood itself, maybe even a subtle sense of grief for the life being left behind, or a perceived loss of freedom.
And the fatigue doesn't help.
Not at all. The often debilitating fatigue of the first trimester just compounds everything, making it harder to regulate emotions. And then there's just the inherent stress of such a massive life change. Thinking about a whole new identity, new responsibilities.
So it's multifaceted.
Very multifaceted. Understanding that helps everyone, the parent, their partner, their support system, approach these emotional fluctuations with more empathy, patience, and practical support. It's a journey affecting every single part of a person.
And then we get into some of the, let's call them hidden discomforts, the ones maybe not talked about as much as morning sickness, but they can add up and really impact well-being.
Yes, the less glamorous symptoms.
Excessive saliva, constipation, and heartburn. The source notes excessive salivatism can be from more production or maybe less swallowing, and it's linked to hormones, nausea, or heartburn.
It can be quite bothersome for some.
And constipation affects up to half of pregnant women. Again, hormones, progesterone this time, relaxing smooth muscles, slowing down digestion.
Yeah, a very common side effect.
And heartburn, that burning sensation, acid indigestion or reflux. Unfortunately unavoidable for some, also often linked to hormones and the expanding uterus later on.
What's fascinating here is how interconnected everything is. How pregnancy impacts so many bodily systems, even if it causes temporary discomfort.
Like the saliva thing.
Well, excessive saliva, tyolism, while annoying, might sometimes be protective. Helping dilute stomach acid if nausea or heartburn is also present. The source gives coping tips. Brushing teeth often, small meals, water, hard candy, or gum.
Okay, and constipation.
That relaxation of smooth muscles is actually helpful elsewhere in pregnancy, like accommodating the growing uterus. But yeah, it slows digestion. The remedy suggested fiber, water, exercise, checking iron and prenatals, going when you feel the urge, are all about working with the body to mitigate that slowdown.
And heartburn.
Often caused by the relaxation of the valve between the esophagus and stomach, letting acid back up. Again, hormones preparing the body but causing discomfort. The tips: avoiding triggers, smaller meals, water between meals, gum, sleeping propped up, not eating right before bed can help manage it.
It sounds like the cumulative effect of these minor things could really affect your day.
Absolutely. They can significantly impact daily well-being, sleep quality, overall comfort. It just highlights the comprehensive physical overhaul that pregnancy really is.
It truly sounds like a full-body experience. But here's something potentially reassuring, maybe for listeners feeling anxious because they don't have all these symptoms. What about the no symptoms enigma?
Ah, yes. Very important point.
The source says by next week, week 8, about 90% feel some symptoms. But crucially, not everyone does. If you've got a positive pregnancy test but feel pretty much fine,
You're most likely still pregnant.
and it doesn't mean something is wrong.
Absolutely not. This is incredibly important for reassurance, to fight off unnecessary anxiety. Pregnancy is just so individual. It varies wildly from person to person, even pregnancy to pregnancy for the same person.
So lack of symptoms isn't a bad sign.
Not if the test is positive. While most people experience something, a lack of symptoms simply isn't a red flag. The physiological changes are still happening inside, whether or not you feel intense nausea or fatigue or breast tenderness.
So some people just adapt more smoothly.
It seems so. For some, their bodies adapt without producing those common discomforts. It just reinforces that every pregnancy journey is unique. Comparing yourself to others or to media portrayals can cause needless worry. The positive test, confirmed by a healthcare provider, that's the key indicator. Trust the science, not just the sensations.
Okay, that's really good to know. So we've explored the amazing internal world of the baby and the often challenging internal world of the parent. Now let's shift gears. Let's chart the course, the key decisions and well-being things that start becoming very real around 7 weeks.
Right. Moving into the practical management and choices.
These are the things that go from abstract ideas to, well, actual steps on the journey.
Exactly. This part is about how to best support the body, navigate the social and practical sides of expecting, and make informed choices for health and well-being.
And a big one, especially with potential nausea and aversions, is eating well. But the source takes a wonderfully realistic, compassionate approach here.
Which is so important.
It advises, do your best to eat well. And crucially, it says, don't worry too much if a perfectly balanced diet is just impossible because of sickness or aversions, which, as we said, are very real challenges now.
Permission to be human.
Exactly. The focus is just on doing your best, prioritizing what you can actually keep down. It then lists 12 best foods for pregnancy, not as strict rules, but suggestions. Things like eggs, salmon, beans, sweet potatoes, whole grains, walnuts, Greek yogurt,
Broccoli, leafy greens, lean meats.
colorful fruits and veggies, avocados, dried fruit. It's a good list.
It's brilliant guidance because it emphasizes sustainable nutrition over perfect adherence. It recognizes the reality of early pregnancy. When you're feeling really sick or have strong aversions, the main goal is just getting some calories and nutrients in, even if it's plain toast.
Right, survival mode sometimes.
Pretty much. The best foods list highlights things that are nutrient-dense. They pack a punch, providing essential vitamins, minerals, healthy fats, things that support both the parent and the baby's development.
Like the salmon.
Salmon's great for omega-3s, vital for baby's brain and eyes. Eggs have protein and choline for brain and spinal cord. Broccoli, leafy greens have folate, crucial against neural tube defects. Whole grains give energy and fiber, helping with constipation.
So it's about quality when possible.
Exactly. And the do your best part acknowledges the challenges, promoting flexibility and self-compassion. It's much more realistic than rigid dietary rules.
Okay. Now, while the physical side is carried by one person, the journey is really shared, isn't it? A partnership.
Absolutely crucial.
The source highlights how important it is to connect with your partner. Says there are many meaningful ways a partner can share in the experience, even without physically carrying the baby.
Getting involved from the start.
Yeah, and the more bonding and shared understanding before the baby arrives, the better equipped you'll both be for the joys and, let's be real, the challenges of newborn care.
Building that foundation.
It specifically suggests making time for date nights, talking openly about parenting styles, expectations, sharing hopes and dreams for the family.
This brings up a really important question for couples. How can partners proactively engage right from the start, even before the baby's here, to build a stronger foundation for parenthood?
Because it's not just biological.
Not at all. Pregnancy is profoundly a family-forming event. It affects the couple dynamic from day one. The emotional and practical teamwork, starting now through these talks, shared experiences, will be invaluable later.
When sleep deprivation hits.
Exactly. When the newborn arrives with constant demands, total routine upheaval, sharing dreams and fears now, making joint decisions, maybe going to appointments together, dedicating intentional time to each other, it strengthens the relationship itself. That relationship is the primary support system,
Good point. It's about the relational dynamics.
which will define those early years of parenthood.
Okay, then there's what the source calls the great announcement debate. This sounds like a big one for many people.
Oh, it's a deeply personal decision. When to tell people.
The source notes some wait until after the first trimester, maybe around 12 weeks, when the miscarriage risk drops significantly. Others announce right away, much earlier.
Two very different approaches.
And there are workplace considerations, too. Some wait to tell work to avoid being treated differently or facing biases before they're obviously showing.
That's a very real concern for many.
And then, once you decide to share, there's the whole question of how. Intimate family reveals, social media posts, all that stuff.
What's fascinating here is how this very private medical event becomes a major public social decision. And the timelines and reasons vary so much.
Why wait versus tell early?
Waiting until after the first trimester is common, understandable. It's often about privacy, getting past that period of higher miscarriage risk, which feels vulnerable. But sharing early, maybe just with close friends or family, can also provide immediate crucial support during a potentially tough time with symptoms and emotions.
And the work angle.
Workplace concerns are real. Fear of discrimination being passed over, shifts in perception. But sometimes, telling earlier might allow for needed accommodations or a smoother transition later. And the creative announcements, even if not detailed here, they show the joy and excitement people feel when they finally share the news.
So it's complex. Personal comfort, readiness, risks, social factors.
Exactly. A real interplay of all those things.
Okay, and as things progress, especially in the first trimester, prenatal testing decisions come up, offering important info.
Yes, options for screening and diagnosis.
At 7 weeks, the source mentions first trimester options like the NIPT blood test, the NT ultrasound, and CVS. And the clear advice is, talk to your healthcare provider, talk to trusted people if you're unsure what's right for you.
These are definitely important options for making informed choices about fetal health.
Can you briefly explain them?
Sure. NIPT, non-invasive prenatal testing, is a simple blood test for the expectant parent. It screens for common chromosomal abnormalities like Down syndrome by analyzing fetal DNA fragments in the mother's blood. High accuracy, no risk to the pregnancy itself.
Just a blood draw. Okay.
The NT neutral translucency ultrasound, often done with NIPT, measures fluid at the back of the baby's neck. More fluid can indicate conditions like Down syndrome or heart issues.
Also non-invasive.
Right. Then CVS chorionic villus sampling is diagnostic. It can give a definitive diagnosis for certain conditions by testing placental tissue, usually done between 10 and 13 weeks. But it's invasive, carries a small miscarriage risk.
So NIPT and TR screening, CVS is diagnostic.
Generally, yes. The point of these tests is providing information, allowing parents to make choices based on their values, risk, comfort, and medical advice. It's really about empowerment through knowledge.
Got it. Now let's talk about the no list, specific foods to skip or avoid during pregnancy. The source is very specific here.
The avoidance list, yes, important for safety.
Swordfish, cold deli meats, raw oysters, homemade cookie dough, bean sprouts, extra-large coffees, unpasteurized juices, and queso fresco. It's quite a mix.
It is, but there's a common thread of caution. Well, the source doesn't detail why for each.
We can infer the risks.
Generally, yes. Swordfish is high in mercury, a neurotoxin bad for a developing nervous system. Cold deli meats and unpasteurized cheeses like queso fresco risk listeria bacteria, very dangerous during pregnancy, can cause severe infection, miscarriage, stillbirth.
Okay, listeria is serious.
Very. Raw oysters and bean sprouts can have other harmful bacteria like salmonella or E. coli. Homemade cookie dough with raw eggs risks salmonella. And extra-large coffee is about limiting caffeine, high levels linked to issues like miscarriage or low birth weight.
So it's about minimizing known risks.
Exactly. Being informed about safety, proactively reducing potential risks to both parent and the very vulnerable developing baby. It's about making conscious, protective choices.
Right. And finally, on a lighter note, that curiosity many parents have, predicting the baby's sex.
The guessing games.
The source is clear. Definitely too early to tell at 7 weeks. The external genitalia just aren't developed enough for an ultrasound ID yet.
Correct. Anatomy isn't distinct yet.
But it adds lightheartedly, You can try highly unscientific gender predictor tests, or the Chinese gender predictor for fun, noting accurately they have a 50-50 chance of being right.
It's just that classic human desire, isn't it? Wanting to know, to connect, to imagine your child's future. And while these methods are, like the source says, highly unscientific, purely for amusement, they tap into that natural curiosity and excitement. It's a playful way people engage with the anticipation, maybe planning neutral nursery colors, thinking of names.
While knowing it's just for fun.
Exactly. Acknowledging that until medical tech, a later ultrasound or specific blood test confirms it, it's all speculation. It's a nice reminder that amidst all the serious medical stuff, there's immense joy, wonder, and maybe a touch of delightful impatience in this journey too.
Definitely. Okay, so we've spent a good amount of time deep inside the embryo's world and the parent's internal experiences. Let's briefly touch on the more outward signs. The physical changes that might be noticeable, even if they're still pretty subtle, at 7 weeks.
Good idea. Moving to the external manifestations, or lack thereof.
Because many changes we've discussed are internal or felt rather than seen. But there are some external things people often anticipate. Managing expectations is key here.
Absolutely. What's typically seen or not seen at this stage?
Well, for instance, the unseen belly. The source confirms that at 7 weeks, your belly might look basically the same. Maybe a bit bloated from digestion, but largely unchanged, especially under loose clothes.
Right. No real bump yet for most.
Many people, especially first-timers, expect an immediate visible bump, but that's just not the reality quite yet.
That's right. And it can sometimes be confusing, maybe even a little disappointing for those eagerly awaiting that visible sign. Physiologically, even though the embryo is growing fast and the uterus is expanding, it's mostly still down in the pelvic cavity at 7 weeks.
Still tucked away.
Pretty much. The uterus is only just starting its climb out of the pelvis. So any perceived belly change now is more likely bloating from hormonal effects on digestion, maybe some weight gain, rather than the actual baby or uterus size.
So it's normal for the belly to look unchanged?
Entirely normal.
Right.
Or barely changed. It surprises some people, but the real baby bump usually shows up later, typically into the second trimester.
Okay. But while the belly might be undercover, your breasts could be telling a very different story.
Ah, yes. Often one of the first noticeable changes.
The source says they might already be noticeably bigger and often keep growing throughout pregnancy. It's common to go up a cup size, maybe even 2, especially in a first pregnancy.
Significant changes there.
They might also feel itchy as the skin stretches. And for some, stretch marks can even start developing around this time on the breasts.
What's really fascinating here is how rapidly the body starts preparing for nurturing the baby. Breast growth is one of the earliest, often most obvious, external physical changes.
It's driven by hormones again.
Driven by that surge in estrogen and progesterone. These hormones aggressively stimulate milk ducts, increase fat deposits in the breasts, getting them ready for lactation way before the baby arrives.
It's not just size either, right?
No, it can also include more sensitivity, tenderness, maybe a darkening of the areolas, and the ickiness, the potential stretch marks. Those are common realities with this rapid expansion. It's a very clear, tangible sign of the profound physiological shifts already happening, priming the body for its future role.
Wow. A powerful, visible testament.
Exactly, to the incredible design of the human body.
Wow. Okay, we have covered so much ground today, diving deep into week 7 of pregnancy. From that astounding, almost microscopic blueprint of life unfolding inside, doubling in size with such precision,
Incredible stuff.
to the roller coaster of symptoms that can define these early weeks for the parent. And all those crucial decisions, daily adjustments that start becoming real. We've really tried to pull out those important nuggets from the BabyCenter source.
Hopefully giving a consolidated, in-depth understanding of this pivotal week.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener?
Well, hopefully it means that understanding these details, even the really nuanced ones, empowers you.
How so?
Whether you're going through this yourself, supporting someone who is, or maybe just gaining a deeper appreciation for the miracle of life and the body's capacity for transformation, this knowledge is just invaluable.
Knowing what's happening helps.
Knowing what's happening, why it's happening, what's normal, it can ease anxiety, help you make more informed choices, and foster a real sense of being prepared and connected, even when things are changing so fast.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this deep dive, thinking about those immense, precise changes happening in something blueberry-sized, building a human from scratch at that rate of 250,000 cells a minute,
It's truly mind-bending.
It really raises an important question for all of us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you think about the incredible speed, the precision, the inherent intelligence in these early biological developments, what does it make you ponder about life's fundamental blueprint, about the resilience of nature, about our own intricate place within this vast, unfolding biological tapestry?
It certainly gives you pause for thought
Yeah,
about something beyond simple chance.
it really does. Well, thank you for joining us on the deep dive. We hope this exploration has left you feeling well-informed, maybe a little less overwhelmed, and definitely more awestruck by the incredible journey of early pregnancy.
Until next time.
Until next time, keep diving deep.